Hello, world. This is America's Supermom, and this is a special edition that I call the Corona Chronicles. During this time, we are suffering from a pandemic that is affecting everyone across the world. We are joined with the rules and regulations of being shelter in place, which means we are limited with the ability to go about our daily business, confined to our homes based on a coronavirus that has been sweeping the entire world. For some people, the effects could be mild. For others, it can be fatal. So we are coming together as a community, as a family during this time of difficulty to share what it is like in our part of the world, how we are affected, and the things that we have in common, what kind of problems that are taking place in our industries and in our relationships and finances, and coming together so that we can plan for a better tomorrow. As this epidemic or pandemic crosses the world, we are waiting for relief. We're waiting for the virus to die off and for us to go back to some state of normalcy, whatever that may be, after things kind of settle down. So, what is that going to look like once the dust settles? How are things going to be different? So, as we go through this process, we're coming together as a world to create ideas, strategies, connect in ways that we have never connected before. So, that is the purpose of the special podcast that I call the Corona Chronicles, so that we can get some insight and have empathy and compassion on one another, create new innovative ideas that can not only improve our life, but our fellow brothers and sisters across the world. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning. How are you?
Hey, Michelle, how are you?
I am good. So glad you could join me. I want to thank you for your time, and I'm just really excited to hear your story and what you've got going on. So, again, I am really honored to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very, very good. Just give me a moment. I got a bunch of notifications popping up on my phone, so if there's a
Okay,
little
not a problem.
pause there. But yeah, I'm doing very well. Busy. And everything is
Mhm.
transitioned with what I do with training and coaching clients when I'm
Yes.
flipping it over to online. So a lot of changes. A lot of changes have been made. A lot of changes continue to be made, and sometimes those changes happen hour by hour. So yeah,
This
busy.
is awesome. Yeah, so we're probably going to dive right into that. So before we get started with, a bunch of questions with you said something key transitioning from what you're doing to online space. I'm sure the audience will be really excited to kind of hear what that transition's like. But before we get started into that, tell us a little bit about how you got into what you do right now, a little bit about your story.
Well, yeah, I've been personal training for a very long time. I've been certified as a personal trainer for I believe almost 20 years.
Okay.
I recently got certified. I would say I believe about 4 years ago.
Mhm.
Um, as a health coach because I had already been kind of doing health coaching anyways with a lot of my
Mhm.
clients.
Mhm.
I wanted to go through my certifying body and get certified through that. So that's been about 4 years. So I've been
Mhm.
doing that for a number of years. And then I started my website in the fall of last year and was really getting that going with the coaching and the training, and
Mhm.
got really moving. And then had some setbacks with some personal stuff with some family members, and
Mhm.
life gets in the way. You know,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, then started moving with that again, and started working more towards the goal of actually doing public speaking and getting
Mm.
that rolling and networking and going to different networking events, networking meetings,
Mhm.
and then the craziness hit with the pandemic. So, you
Right. Okay.
know, again, everything has completely done a 180. But you know what? It's okay because with me transitioning everything over to online for now, I had already
Mhm.
been doing that anyways with some of my clients.
Mm. Mhm.
Some of them had already been doing a combination of one-on-one and online training. So it
Mhm.
wasn't too hard of a transition. But
Mhm.
now that idea of the online services that was kind of in
Mhm.
the back burner of my
Mhm.
business goals has now completely gone straight into the driver's seat. And that's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You
That's
know,
good. Yeah. We have to make adjustments. So, talk to us really quickly. I think this is very interesting how, you were a trainer and that uh, kind of landscape shifted to being a health coach.
mhm.
And, what was it that you felt was happening within your industry that kind of prompted you to make somewhat of a transition or an extension, so to speak, of your business?
Yeah, that's actually a really good point to talk about because when you mentioned about the industry, I'm
Mhm.
certified through American Council on Exercise, ACE,
Mhm.
and they're one of the big ones in the fitness industry with certifying fitness professionals, whether you be a personal trainer, health coach, group exercise
Mhm.
instructor. They have been really recognizing for a number of years that health coaching was going to be more and more prevalent in the fitness industry and what health coaching is. A lot of people think
Mhm.
a lot of people think it's like life coaching.
Right.
It is and it isn't. It
Mhm.
isn't in a big way because what we do as health coaches is we work with clients on changing their behavior that causes them to make behavior related weight changes. So
Mm.
for an good example is working with people that are really stressed. They have stressful jobs,
Mhm.
managing their families. They need to make improvements on their health. They don't
Mhm.
do that, but most importantly, they don't know how to handle, how to respond to moments of stress and stimuli of stress. So what we do as health coaches is we try to help them work through those changes. And there's different changes. There's different stages
Mhm.
to change
Mhm.
behavior and
Mhm.
how people progress through those stages
Mhm.
of behavior change. It varies from client to client and it takes a lot of time. And sometimes that they move a couple steps ahead and then
Mhm.
something may be going on in their life and they end up taking 10 steps back. So they have to
Mhm.
work with them, getting
Mhm.
them slowly back on track. And it does take a lot of time. Um,
Mhm.
that's basically what health coaching does. And
Right.
what I do with my clients as I'm working with them as a trainer in a training session is I work more with clients more than just sets, reps, and diet. There's a lot of
Mm.
involved with my clients, and I really listen to what my clients want and some of the issues that they're having that's causing them to have roadblocks with their goals.
Mm.
Does that
Mhm.
answer make
Mhm.
everything more clear?
Yeah, that's good. Now, so
Yeah.
yeah, so for somebody who, let's say we've got a mom, she has, she's going through this pandemic. She normally works outside the home, so she is gonna be maybe a little overwhelmed because her job is being changed indefinitely for right now, and she's got her kids at home.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of tip, in terms of a health coaching standpoint, that somebody could get immediately, something that they could begin to start doing, or a practice that they can follow to kind of begin to navigate through something like that?
Oh, you know what? This is actually a really good topic because I was actually pondering um,
Mhm.
some upcoming blogs about this. Um,
Mhm.
we got people that are working from home. So
Mhm.
one thing that I would recommend is that if they can set up a place in their home that can be semi-secluded or secluded, maybe it's an extra bedroom, an extra storage room, a small office where they can go
Mhm.
in there and do the work and close the door.
Mhm.
The kids know and the spouse knows not to go in to bother mom or dad while they're in there working. And also, too, that person, they should also communicate with the rest of the family. Hey, guys, I have a conference call at 9 o'clock. You can't come in.
Mhm.
I have this block of time from like 9 to 12. That's the time that
Mhm.
you can't come in. You can't bother me, so on and so forth. So we have that part of that. So that actually helps reduce.
Mhm.
The other end of it is it's really important for people, especially now, because of the crisis that we're
Mhm.
going through, to get
Mhm.
some sort of exercise in their day.
Okay.
Depending
Mhm.
upon where they're at in the country or where they're at in the world, they may be allowed to go outside, they may not. So that could be where, for example, okay, at the end of the day, they're done working from home. Let's say it's 5 o'clock. Okay, we're going to go 5 o'clock.
Mhm.
I'm going to take a 20-minute walk outside, or I'm going to take the kids
Mhm.
and we're going to do a 20-minute walk outside. So try to schedule that in there. Now,
Mhm.
if people are under restrictions as far as going outside, where they can only go outside if they're going
Mhm.
to the grocery store or or
Mhm.
whatever, that they can actually do some exercises in home. They're very,
Okay.
very simple, and actually get the family involved in it too, because in that way you're kind of
Yeah.
doing everything as a team, and it's actually fun.
Mhm.
So it actually helps reduce
Mhm.
a lot of that stress of being stuck at home. You know,
Mhm.
reducing
Mhm.
that stress of strategizing when I have to go to the grocery store once a week, and we have to get everything on this list, and that's it. So it helps when you're
Mhm.
involving the family
Mhm.
exercising. That can actually help reduce some of that stress too. And that's some of the stuff I've actually uh, put on
That's good.
some of my social media and my website as well. So there's a way to do it, but
Mhm.
I think that people need to be reminded, not to make it too difficult. And they have the
Right.
whole
Right.
entire workout program that they used to do in the gym that can be modified in home. Maybe you only do a few things. That's
Right.
it. Keep it simple.
Right.
Keep the
Right.
pressure off of you.
Mhm. 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 I love that. Now, for somebody who doesn't exercise at all,
Mm-hmm.
let's say we're somebody who is, at their computer. That's all they do is sit down. You know, what, do you recommend them going to your website or some different apps that can help them to gradually get into that? Because I know, just me being a coach also, everybody wants to go from 0 to 100, and they do that 1 or 2 days, and then they're burnt out, and then
Right.
it's like you never even got started with
Right.
anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Initially, the biggest thing right now, and I did mention this in one of my upcoming blogs, going to be released soon, is that if
Mhm.
you have
Mhm.
any type of exercise restrictions established
Mhm.
by your physician, you need to abide by them. Or physician
Mhm.
has mentioned, you can exercise, but you may have some issues here that could be aggravated by exercise, you need to adhere to those recommendations. Now, uh,
Mhm. Mhm.
let's say like if somebody like right now contacted me and they have a lot of issues, orthopedic issues, maybe some disease processes going on, maybe some thyroid, some diabetes.
Mhm.
I cannot
Mhm.
work with those people initially because I would need to have a doctor's clearance to work
Oh,
with.
okay.
So
Good point.
yeah,
Okay.
so something like
Mhm.
that right now, that would be a tough one to get because right now you probably can't get into your doctor's office and get your physical done just
Definitely.
because of what's going on. But that doesn't when things calm
Yeah.
down that you
Yeah.
can't do it, you know. Yeah,
Exactly.
I when I
Exactly.
work with people, I make sure that they are number one in a safe environment and the programming is safe as well. And if there are
Mhm.
some medical issues that are there, those do need to be addressed.
Mhm.
And if they've already been addressed by the
Mhm.
physician, if they're under control, depending upon what the situation is, yeah, you probably could do something. But generally, what I would have people do for
Mhm.
people that I'm not meeting face to face, they would get a hold of me through my website, and then I would actually end up doing like a phone call with them as well.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
I'm actually
Mhm.
may step that up even more now with doing some video conference calling as well. So that way, you know,
Mhm.
you kind of get to see, we get to see each other
Mhm.
and you get a little bit more comfortable and then I get an idea as far as what I want to do.
Yeah.
And if it's something where like right now, if it's not going to work out, that's fine. You know, down the
Mhm.
road,
Right. Right.
because
Right. Right.
so much has
Yeah.
changed now that if you can't get into your doctor's office and get a regular physical, you know, you're going to have to wait. It,
You can't. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I mean, right. Good luck finding a doctor's
yeah,
office that's open.
right.
That's
It,
part of it. Okay, so let's say, how do you deal with people that, because I have it sometimes with coaching as well. People, um, they want to, I guess I'll use this example. You want to buy an expensive car, but you don't even
mm-hmm,
have a job. So it's like you want these big goals. So how do you maneuver a balance between creating a strategy and a routine with somebody who, yeah, they might have this big goal. And I mean, of course, we should dream big, but, mirroring that with
mm-hmm,
practical ways. So, like if I was to come to you and say, I really want to lose 50 pounds in 6 months, so of course everybody can accomplish that, but sometimes when it comes to people who just say I need to get a coach and they think a coach can work wonders, and so what advice would you give somebody who is in that position with those type of goals in that
yeah, I
area?
definitely agree. And I do tell a lot of my clients this, that it is a good thing to dream big, to have those big goals. However,
Mhm.
the most important thing that people can do, and this is where I come into play, is to start breaking those goals down into smaller goals, depending upon the
Mhm.
individual, uh, what they're capable of physically, where they are right now as far as their fitness level, but most importantly, where they are at
Mhm.
mentally. And what I'm talking about with
Mhm.
mentally is confidence, drive,
Right.
stress,
Mhm.
um, what they have going
Mhm.
on in their social background with their family, their friends, their job. Even looking at
Mhm.
that and then taking those smaller goals that we already broke down and breaking them down
Mhm.
into more goals that are smaller. And sometimes those goals could be a goal every 2 weeks. Sometimes it could be a goal every week.
Right.
It just depends upon the individual.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
stuff like that. If
Mhm.
they have, for example, like if they have an orthopedic issue in their knee, and let's
Mhm.
say they just got diagnosed with a torn meniscus. Okay, well, we can't change that.
Mhm.
Um, but if we're looking at
Right.
trying to increase strength in the legs to make themselves more stable, then we can work on some goals that are just shorter term. And that may be like a goal that could be done on a every other week basis. Let's evaluate and see how you are with looking at squatting and getting in and out of your car. Is that getting easier? Well, yes, it is. Well, fantastic. Then we've already accomplished that goal. So it's changing that mindset
I love that.
and I think it's just general human behavior. We want these bigger goals, and we want to go from running a 5K to a marathon, for lack of a better term. We want to do it all.
Right.
You can't, especially whenever I'm dealing with a clientele that I'm working with, is that middle-age population and the professional population where they got high-stress jobs. You got these big goals, but you need to work on those smaller goals initially, because then you can see that they see that progress. Then the mindset starts to change, and then they actually get more and more of a drive and ambition to keep going. And then when life gets in the way, things happen, they got to take 10 steps back. It's not as bad getting started again and pushing more and pushing further, faster.
I love that.
It's really that mindset that I really pay attention to. And I think that's one of the big things that I differ from a lot of trainers. When people contact me, they ask me, okay, personal trainer, tell me about yourself. And first thing I tell them is, I'm not your average trainer. Reasons. A lot of it is mindset.
Right. Now, so for somebody right now, this is a perfect segue for mindset, because, you can't go outside. I love the way that you put in there that you could walk, you can do things in your home, and even in some cases we could dance, and that's a form of exercise. But what key things would you share with somebody to begin that journey of making your mind a little bit more flexible and kind of transitioning for what goals that you are going to be working on?
Oh man, you know what, that's a really good question. Obviously the answer to that would vary from person to person, but generally, and this is where it can get very tough, because we're dealing with so many things unknown, is probably I would tell the individual, okay, let's take a look at your schedule. What do you got going on right now, home? How are you working? What's the family doing? What's the schedule like? Have you formulated a schedule? Start taking a look at maybe blocking out. It could be 15 minutes. It could be a half hour of activity. And maybe that may only be like once a week for now. Just because of all the craziness and the stress, our brains can only deal with so much. We just So I think with these individuals, I would start them out very slow, as trying to find a time where they can realistically do some exercise. And also give them the confidence and just tell them, it's okay if you can only do core exercises on the ball for 15 minutes. That's all you got. That's all you got. Better than what you had 2 weeks ago, when our world was turned completely upside down.
Exactly. I mean, and I really love your approach, because there is such the element of being realistic,
absolutely.
To that, because, people just, if you are, and it's a lifestyle, change. So if you are doing it with the hopes of really transforming your health, it's a lifestyle. So, now currently for this season, it might be once a week for 15 minutes, but as things begin to get managed and as you begin to get results from that 15 minutes once a week, you may have more energy to introduce another day and then continue to build from there.
Exactly.
Would that be,
and your mindset starts to slowly change, where then you're ready to tackle maybe a little bit more. And it may be a scenario where, right now some folks are getting up at 7 o'clock, and once that mindset starts to change, you're slowly going to start seeing people waking up earlier, done in a day, just because they're ready to handle A and B instead of trying to handle A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Right. Yeah. I love that. This is great. So, let everybody know the best way to get a
Yeah.
hold of you, and any final
Yeah.
words that you want to share.
I would say, okay, the final words I would say is that, and this is actually something I've been doing myself, is when you get up in the morning, probably one of the best things that you could do is do not turn on the TV. Do not just get on your cell phone and look to see what's scrolling on the social media with the news and all that. Don't do that. Instead, maybe grab a notebook, a piece of paper. If you got a journal, grab a journal and just write down a few things that went well the day before, or that's really positive, or I know for you read some scriptures in the Bible. That's fantastic. Because if you're doing that, if you're reading something that's positive, it would be a scripture, or writing down something in a journal, some positive notes. I did this yesterday. This felt awesome. Or maybe even writing a line or two of gratitude. That sets your intention for the day. Then you can go about your business, getting breakfast, getting the kids ready. If they got to do some schooling now online, which they probably are, then getting yourself set up for your work day. That's probably one of the biggest things that people need to do now. And I will tell you, I started doing the same thing, because about a week ago, the first thing I was doing, grabbing my phone, scrolling. I'm like, I got to stop this. I got to stop this, because I wasn't getting nothing done. So I grabbed my journal again, started writing, and it's, it works. That's the biggest thing I could tell for people to do now. Now, and let's say if people are coming back to this podcast and it's a year from now and none of this is going on, but still, you can still do that stuff on your day-to-day basis. You practice it.
Absolutely. I love that. Now, do you find as a result of doing that you feel like you're a lot more creative?
Absolutely.
Or solution
Yeah,
oriented?
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not distracted. That's the big thing. And I think I have a couple of clients that do work from home to begin with, and they have trouble managing distractions. So, trying to manage those distractions is, is going to be a key thing, is communication, with the family, especially now when things are off limit, Yeah. Yeah. I would say that probably the biggest thing that my big takeaway point right now, because what we're going through is such a monumental event, but, also to look at it from this standpoint, is that a lot of positive changes are going to happen from this chaos.
Yes.
And being uncomfortable, it's okay to be uncomfortable, because that's when changes start to occur, and you'll start to make changes that are positive. And you may not know what, how positive and those changes are now and how they affected your life, but down the road, you'll realize it. So, yeah. So
I love that. So true.
Yeah, those would be my takeaways.
Awesome. Those are great. Now, what's the
best
way
and
to get a hold of
easiest
you?
way? There's several platforms. The easiest way is actually to go to my website, and that's www.hollygattofitness.com. HOLLYGATTO fitness.com. If you scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, there's my socials there, Instagram, Facebook page. I do have a couple other things. I have a private business Facebook page. If you just look up Holly Gatto Fitness, you'll find there. and the private fitness page. Well, actually, it's a group that I created. That is a
Mhm.
private group. You have
Mhm.
to actually ask to join. Is the Holly Gatto Fitness Community Fitness Group. So that group is actually really good right now
Okay.
because I have a lot of my current clients, past clients, a lot of people in there, and there's a lot of engagement, which is fantastic
Mhm.
because it's kind of like a good, positive community where people are just like seeing stuff, people doing things. Like I have a friend of mine who is in there.
Absolutely.
He was training for the Pittsburgh Marathon. It got canceled, so he's running it virtually. So people are
Oh,
watching
okay.
them just training,
Yeah.
which is awesome to see, and it's great because people are
Oh,
they're moving around. So
that's awesome.
yeah, those are the ways to get in contact with me. But I would say that the best way, easiest way, is just to go to that website and get a
Mhm.
hold of me, and I respond back. So yeah, it's
Mhm.
all positive, all positive.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
absolutely,
what we need. More positivity.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, I am so glad to have connected with you this morning, Holly, and love your insight and looking forward
Yeah,
to
Lachelle. Hey,
getting to
thank you
know
so
you
much for
better.
having me on.
What a great conversation with Holly. I love her mindset of starting the day with intention. This is so key with what it is that we're experiencing right now with this pandemic. Many of us go through the night, we wake up, we're glad that we're waking up, but then the first thing we do is look and see what's going on with social media or the news. So I challenge everybody just to try it for a couple days, to try to wake up with intention, waking up, recording what are some things that you're grateful for? What are you looking forward to? What is your vision for next week, next month? Writing those things down and letting them be the intention for each day rather than being sucked into what news and changes are happening at daily and sometimes hourly in the media. So, I want to thank you all for listening. If you would like to share your insight during this time, there is something that you think is pertinent for the audience to know, please feel free to reach out to me at info@lachelleatkins.com. I would love to have you on to share your insight. This is a platform for all of us to kind of come together as a family across the world and share our ideas, our thoughts, our feelings, and emotions as we continue to get stronger and daily overcome this pandemic that is plaguing us right now. Another way you can reach out to me is through Facebook Messenger. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, and I do have a YouTube channel. So I want to thank you all for listening. Have a wonderful day.